Hello, Mr. T here. In this session, the piece I'd like to talk about is Sicilienne by Lucy Pankhurst from the book Shining Brass Volume 1. I've chosen this piece as it is set for Grade 3, List A. If you choose to play this piece for your grade, here are some ideas on how you could improve your marks. Firstly, let me play the melody. I agree with you, not very interesting, not very musical. So how can I make it more interesting and more musical? The points I will cover are tempo, dynamics, articulation and musicianship. Firstly, tempo. Two things to notice about tempo: the speed at the beginning, and then look through the piece to see if this changes. At the beginning you can see it says quaver equals 104. And what this means is the speed should be fast enough to play 104 quavers a minute. Note that it says quaver, so you will need to count 6 beats in a bar. So the music is not as fast as you might have thought. The best way to understand this is by using a metronome. If you don't have one, play it at a moderate speed like this. And so on. Now look through the piece to see if the tempo changes, and you will see there are no further changes until right at the end where it says rit over the second to last bar. Rit is short for ritardando, which means a sudden slowing down. It's quite hard to do with just your dotted minium, and I'm sure the pianist, when you play, you will be able to feel that as the pianist plays along with you. Now let's add dynamics to tempo. There are some, but not a lot, of variations in the markings. At the beginning it says MF, mezzo forte, medium loud. Bar 9 has a diminuendo getting softer to P, piano. In bar 10, bar 12 has a crescendo to MP, mezzo piano, medium soft in bar 13. Bar 14 has a crescendo, but notice that it doesn't say how loud to play. What do you think? I'll come back to this later. And finally, there is a diminuendo in bar 17 to MF, mezzo forte, medium loud. Now for articulation, the tonguing and slowing. And again, there is not a lot of variation in the piece, but there are some points to notice. Look through the piece and you will see curved lines between some of the notes. These are slurs, where you will need to tongue the first note and then play the others without tonguing, making them as smooth as possible. Also notice in bars 4, 12 and 14 there are notes with a little arrowhead underneath it. Now these are called accents, and you will need to play these with a little more force, a little more accent, give it a more attack. In bars 14 and 17, there are notes with little lines underneath. These lines are called tenuto, and you must give each note its full length. Don't cut them short. Lastly, now that we have tempo, dynamics and articulation, the technical bits, it's time to think about musicianship. And what this means is thinking about what story is the music wanting you to tell through your playing. This is tricky because there's not a lot to go on here. All we have for the clues are the title and the word, well, just the quaver equals 104 at the beginning. A Sicilienne is a type of slow dance in 6/8 time that was popular in Sicily during the 17th and 18th centuries. So have a gentle dance in your mind as you play. Also, think about how loud you want that crescendo in bar 14 to be. It doesn't say, but if you look, the overall dynamic of the piece is quite quiet. So perhaps don't make it too loud. You decide. There are no right or wrong answers, just what you think will make the piece sound more interesting and more musical. Now the 4 points, tempo, dynamics, articulation and musicianship have been covered. I will end by playing through the piece, thinking about all of these ideas, and you will be able to compare it with the first playthrough and see the difference.